Welcome back to the Boozy Bookworm. Today we will be reviewing The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. And this evening, or this day depending upon when you're watching it, I have a bottle of Head to Head. It's a rosé. I actually bought it from Olive Garden because I went out to dinner with my mother and I realized I have to do the Boozy Bookworm. So I bought this bottle of wine and it just so happened to be perfect. So we're going with it. I don't know if you can tell. This way, it makes faces. So it's pretty cool. We're going with it. It's a rosé, which is like romantic and stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. It's a good rosé. I've had better though. But I'm not mad about it. Obviously, it's wine. So allow me to set the scene for you folks. We are in a publishing house, but not a publishing house with one CEO, but two. And as most CEOs, they have assistants. So there is not one assistant to the CEO, but two. One is Lucy Hutton and the other is Joshua Templeton. And let me tell you about these two. The book is told from Lucy's perspective. And from the moment she started, she tried to be nice. She showed up and she was like, "Hi, I'm Lucy." Or however Lucy's act. I don't know. That's how I envision Lucy's. And Joshua Templeton, Josh, was kind of cold-shouldered. And so since then, the two have been in what they call the hating game because they hate each other. And Lucy assumes that it's because she's like this farm girl. She grew up on a strawberry farm, and that it's because she wears all these bright, fun clothes because she's like bright and happy and spirited. I wonder what that's like. And Josh, is meticulous and organized, and so she assumes that's why he hates her. However, that's probably the case because I would hate someone that's all bright and cheery too. There is a promotion for one of them, and this is Lucy's dream job. Josh is kind of undetermined if it's his dream job at this point, but presumably it's his dream job because why be a CEO's assistant if you're not trying to move up in the world? So naturally, Lucy is like, I gotta compete harder. And meanwhile, yes, it is a competition, but it's not a competition in that sense, but she turns it into a competition in that sense. And then she has a rated R sexual scene about Josh in her dreams, and she's like, "Oh my word, what does that mean?" So the next day, she wears a tight short dress to get his attention, not knowing why. I mean, I guess kind of knowing why she does it. I mean, why does anyone really do that? I don't know. But then Josh calls her out and is like, "Wow, you're really dressed up, what the heck?" And she's like, "Oh, it's because I have a date." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, you have a date." And she's like, "No, I do." So then she has to scramble to find a date because she doesn't have a date. Why does she have a date? So she asks some guy from downstairs. Well, it turns out that date makes Josh kind of jealous. So naturally, he offers to drive her to the date. Then kisses her in the elevator and we all love a good enemies to lovers book. Then Lucy and Josh plan a corporate retreat for the team to, I don't know, what does a corporate retreat supposed to do? It's supposed to build relations and provide unity and whatever. And so they do that, but it's a paintball match. And then Lucy's feeling sick the whole time because I guess she's sick. And she ends up getting sick. I don't even know where the Tupperware container comes from, but she throws up into a Tupperware container and then Josh brings her back to his house, or her house, and stays the night. So the next day, she comes in, or the whatever day, she comes into work, and the guy from that downstairs that she was going on a date with, his name was Danny. He provided her with flowers. They show up together. Josh thinks they showed up together, but they didn't really show up together. And he bought her flowers, but so did Josh. Josh left a rose on her desk, and so now he's furious because now it looks like the thing with Danny is actually a thing, and he was thinking it was a joke, which it was. They wind up in the janitor's closet to try to hash things out. I have never been kissed in a closet. You know what? I feel like that has happened in a lot of movies and books. Matthew! They talk it all out, and basically what they decide is they are going to try to have an intimate relationship. Then Josh throws a monkey wrench into all this. And I don't know why it has to specifically be a monkey wrench, nor do I know why I'm holding my wine glass like this now. But at any rate, he decides that she has to go out with Danny one more time, and she has to kiss him to make sure that she wants to be with Josh and not anyone else. So she does that. She goes on the date with Danny. She kisses him. There's no sparks. And so she drives to Josh's and is like, hey, I kissed him. There's no sparks. Blech. And so he welcomes her in and he's like, we're not having sex. And like, okay. Oh, also, Josh's brother is getting married and he asked Lucy if she would go with him. And she's like, yeah, for sure. Before they go, she shows up at the office and Josh walks out of his CEO's apartment, office. He's all mad and yelling and everything's all bad. So she's like, holy crap, what happened? And then they're off to the wedding. Josh and his father have a very poor relationship. Lucy's like, oh, he wanted me here to like kind of feel that situation. And then she finds out that Josh used to date his brother's bride, Mindy. And so she's like, oh, he only wanted me here to make his ex-girlfriend jealous. And so she's furious. But then Josh is like, no, it wasn't that. I really love you. I really like you. So that's why you're here. And so they have sex. Here's my segment called Womanish Words of Wisdom. If a guy ever tells you she's like a sister, unless he's into incest, she's not a sister. That's just my experience, and I suppose I should say experiences. The next morning after the wedding, they go to like a family breakfast. Josh's dad is like berating him and like crapping on his entire existence. And Lucy stands up to him and she's just met him. So she's got no right, but she does it anyway, which like, props to you, girl. So like she stands up for Josh and is like, you wanna know, you're just like a small prick and I hate you, and something like that. And Josh is like, wow, she's amazing. She realizes she loves Josh. Bada bing, bada boom. What comes after bada bing, bada boom? No, I guess that's it. Bada bing, bada boom. Turns out Josh has denied the promotion prematurely. It was like, I don't want to be involved in this. I don't want it. Give it to Lucy. And so Lucy gets it. And so they live happily ever after. Huzzah. Because they're in love. Cover design is a 3.5. It's nice enough. I love the contrasting colors, you know, blue and yellow and like white. It's very vibrant and eye-catching. Obviously, I'm almost dropped the book. Obviously, oh wow, this is hard. Obviously, that's Lucy and that's Josh. So I like it. It kind of gives off vibes. However, I don't know. I can't think of a better cover, but I also don't know why I don't want to give it more than a 3. So characters are a 4. I really like the characters in this book, I guess. Lucy's cool. I mean, she's also kind of like a little but good enough. And Josh has some really good lines that where you're like, swoon. They're obviously not realistic, but that's a romance book for you. None of it's realistic. But I really like it. It was good. I mean, give characters a 4. Plot is a 3. Not gonna lie to you. I can almost promise you there's a Hallmark movie made that is exactly like this. I don't know for certain. I watch Hallmark movies sometimes. I used to watch a lot with my grandmother, but now that I live with my fiance, we don't watch a whole lot of Hallmark movies. And it's because they're all the same. It's like some corporate person, some farm town person. They have some conflict, they hate each other, and then all of a sudden they love each other. And ta-da! That's every Hallmark movie. And I'm sorry, some people can watch the same garbage over and over again, and I can't do that. So it's not me. I don't know. Ending will get a 4. I love that Lucy gets the promotion because she deserves it. And Josh is like, he concedes. It's not like no one loses. He's like, I'm backing out. She deserves this. And I love that. I love that he's like supportive of her, and that's great. So it's a 4. Book drop is a 2.75 because it's either when Lucy tells off Josh's dad or when they finally decide that they're going to love each other. And that's like great. But all of that was kind of expected as you were reading. None of it was shocking. It didn't have like a whole wow factor. So like it was still good, but it's a 2.75 for me. which gives The Hating Game by Sally Thorne a 3.45 out of 5. So we're going to round that up to a 3.5. It was a fun read. It's just, I don't know. It was like predictable. I liked this book. I really did. It was fun to read. And Josh's lines are like, I have no more wine, which means this is over. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned until next Friday. Stay boozy, my friends.